Welcome to Pink Cake Princess. I'm Andrea and I'm going to show you how to make silky smooth Swiss meringue buttercream. This buttercream is silky and smooth in texture and taste. It's absolutely divine and it's not as sweet as your regular buttercream. Also, if you watch to the end, you'll also get material on how I create these cute cupcake swirls. Okay, here are the ingredients that you'll need. Basically, you'll need 1 part egg whites to 2 parts sugar to 3 parts butter and a pinch of salt. Now, whatever your ingredients measurements in egg whites, you just double and triple for your sugar and butter portion. Okay, so in a saucepan with some water, we're just going to boil it up and create a double boiler with our mixing bowl. I'm just going to pour in the egg whites portion and my pinch of salt just to break up the eggs. Okay, just whisking it up there with my whisk, and then I'm just going to add in about 1/3 of my sugar and then just whisking it up with my whisk. And the heat underneath is basically going to break up my egg whites and also dissolve my sugar. Now we don't want the water underneath to actually be touching the bottom of the bowl, so you only need a little bit underneath. Okay, whisking it up there. Now adding in my last portion of sugar and then whisking it up. Now basically when it's done, it's when I touch it and there's basically no grainy sugar in between my fingers there. That's basically when I know the egg whites are cooked and that my sugar has also melted. And yeah, and that's when it's done and I take it off the heat. Okay, that's what it looks like. Now I'm just going to add it put it into the mixer and then turn it onto the high setting. Now that's going to whisk up for about 5 minutes to 10 minutes. And I'm going to get this beautiful white silky meringue. Okay, you can see it there. It's absolutely silky and smooth. Now it is also important to mention that you should have your mixer and all your attachments grease free as well, because that will affect how much your egg whites actually rise and fluff up. Okay, so now adding my butter in. Now just also mentioning here that make sure that the side of your mixing bowl is cool to the touch before you add it in, otherwise your butter may melt. Okay, so my butter is at room temperature and I'm just putting it in a bit at a time and it's mixing through. Now you may find that it goes all soupy and lumpy on you after a while. I don't know whether you can see it here, but sometimes that happens. All you got to do is just keep beating it up and it will just come together for you. If it still doesn't come together, I've had that happen in the past as well. I've just taken the bowl out and put it in the fridge for a few minutes so it cools up a little bit, and then when I mix it up again, it all comes together. Okay, now and that's it. That's basically the buttercream done. You can see it there, it's absolutely silky and smooth. And it tastes divine. Okay, and here I am just icing one of my cupcakes quickly just to show you how easy it is to ice your cupcake with your offset spatula. And now for my bonus material, I'm just going to show you how to pipe on a lovely swirl onto your cupcake. Now I'm using just a piping bag and a really big piping tip. I think it's a number 17 Loyal, but you can get any piping tip that looks like that. It doesn't have to be that particular brand. It just has to be really big just to create that big swirl. Now all I'm doing is just scraping in my buttercream and lifting up my bag. And then I'm just going to twist the end several times. And ready to go. Now you can also get the recipe to my vanilla cupcakes on my channel. I'll provide a link right at the end of this video so you can just click on the cupcakes at the end to get to the recipe. Okay, and that's it. All I'm doing is just looping around and lifting up. Looping around and lifting up, and that's it. That's how you create a nice lovely swirl on your cupcake. And there you have it. Give it a try. It's absolutely divine to the taste. Welcome to Pink Cake Princess. I'm Andrea and today we're going to be making frozen cake sandwiches. This is my white chocolate cake recipe. You can use this to create the sandwiches or just to bake an 8-inch cake. These treats would be perfect on a frozen themed cake table. And if you watch my next few videos, you'll see how to create this Blue Moon ice cream to turn your cake sandwiches into lovely ice cream sandwiches. Okay, now here are the ingredients for my white chocolate cake. This is for an 8-inch round cake. In a pot, I'm going to pour in my water, my butter, my sugar, and my white chocolate, and I'm going to whisk it through until it all dissolves. Make sure you keep whisking until everything is mixed in, otherwise your chocolate may burn. I'm going to simmer it for about 5 minutes, and then I'm going to place the lid on and remove it from heat, and I'm going to let it come down to room temperature. Once the mixture's cooled down, I'm going to add in my bicarb soda and my sifted flour. Slowly whisking to get rid of any lumps. Careful not to over whisk, as you don't want extra air bubbles in the mixture. Then I'm going to line a baking tray with some baking paper. And just greasing it there before I pour in my cake batter. Tapping it onto the table to get rid of any excess air bubbles. And I'm going to place one of my metal circle cutters in the center so that it bakes evenly and quickly. I'm going to bake it in a preheated oven at 160 degrees for 30 minutes, or if you're baking a cake, you bake it for about 60 minutes. The bowl of water just helps it not dry out. Okay, I'm going to remove my circle cutter in the middle, and I'm going to place a tea towel over it and let it sit in the tray for about 10 minutes before I take it out. Once it's cooled down, I'm going to tip it over onto a tray. And I'm going to cover it in cling wrap. Don't forget to click the like button below if you're liking this tutorial, and click add to favourites to save this recipe. Once you're ready to use the cake, you can remove the cling wrap and use your circle cutter to cut out your sandwiches. You can use a serrated knife to cut your sandwiches in half. And you can fill them with whatever filling you want. Here I am just using my Swiss meringue buttercream. You can find the recipe on my channel. You can pipe it on or spread it on like I'm doing. And just to neaten it up, I'm just going to fill in the sides. Now you've got the perfect cake sandwich base to decorate any way you want. I'm using some snowflake plunger cutters to create some tiny little blue snowflakes. This cutter comes in a set of 3. I'm using the largest cutter to cut out the white snowflake. And I'm going to use my circle cutter to cut it out. I'm going to attach the blue snowflake onto my white snowflake, and then you can garnish your cake sandwich with this lovely decoration ready to go on your treats table. What other treats would be great for a frozen party? Welcome to Pink Cake Princess. I'm Andrea, and I'm going to show you how to make white chocolate and blue moon frozen snowflake ice cream sandwiches. Perfect for your frozen themed party cake table. If you are looking for more frozen party ideas, you can check out the links on my channel. I'm going to start out by showing you how to create this blue moon ice cream, and you can match it up with my white chocolate cake sandwich recipes. Here's the ingredients for the blue moon ice cream. I'm going to place my milk into a saucepan over medium heat, and I'm just going to bring it just to a simmer. I'm adding in my sugar and whisking it in to make sure that it's dissolved, and I'm also adding in my salt. Next, I'm going to remove it from the heat and add in my thickened cream or whipping cream. Mixing it through, and then I'm going to add in my vanilla pudding mix, which is something you can just get from your local supermarket. Adding in my vanilla extract Adding in my lemon extract, my orange extract, and my raspberry or strawberry extractor oil. Mixing it through, and then finally adding in some blue food colouring to get that intense blue moon colour. If you do like this recipe, don't forget to click the button below and also click add to favourites to save it. At this stage you can pour your mixture into an ice cream machine, or if you don't have one you can just place your container into the freezer until it gets cool enough before you take it out and whisk it up to aerate it. I did this several times over a period of about 4 hours, probably whisking it up about 4 times for about 5 minutes each time. It's not that hard, you just place it into your freezer, forget about it, and every so often take it out and whisk it up. Once it's firm enough, I'm going to pour it into a larger container. Here I am just using my cake tin and lining it up with some baking paper. How would you describe Blue Moon's ice cream's taste? Some people say it tastes like Fruit Loops. What do you think? Comment below. Okay, now my ice cream is ready to be frozen in the fridge or the freezer. And now I've moved on to some blue fondant icing that I've rolled out. I'm using a snowflake plunger cutter to create tiny little blue snowflakes. And for my white chocolate garnish, I'm using some white chocolate that I've melted in the microwave in 20-second lots. And I'm just going to spread it out onto my baking paper to form a round disc. And just shaking the paper so it evens out. And I'm going to let that set. Once it's firmed up, I'm going to use my larger snowflake plunger cutter just to create an impression into it. And I'm going to glue the smaller blue snowflake on top. Now for my actual dessert table, I used some white fondant to garnish it because I wanted a true white look to my ice cream sandwiches. Using my circle cutter to cut it out, and using a little bit of water to glue on my blue snowflake. Once all my decorations are ready, I've moved on to my actual cake sandwiches. Now you can find the recipe to this on my channel. I've used a circle cutter to cut them out and a serrated knife to cut them in half. Now I'm using my smaller circle cutter to cut out my ice cream, and I'm placing it on top of my sandwiches. Placing my decoration on, and there you have it. There's your lovely ice cream sandwich. You can eat it as is, or if you want to save it for later, wrap it up in some cling wrap and place it in an airtight container, ready to serve later. Okay, now here's my white chocolate garnish. You can place that on just before serving your ice cream sandwich. And that's it. What other ice cream flavors would you guys like to see?